exciting and new. Climb aboard. We're expecting you. Hello, I'm Brian, and this is a thing I do called Vintage Mego. This week, we'll explore one of Mego's most curious choices, the action figure line based on the popular Aaron Spelling comedy series, The Love Boat. It's a weird toy line, and one that is a subject of many jokes, but I hope in this episode to try and figure out precisely what the heck Mego was thinking with this toy line. So let's set the frame. Mego in 1982, I'm sure anyone familiar with Mego knows that this was not a good time for the world's greatest toy company. 1981 was disastrous for Mego. There were many setbacks. The biggest being investment into handheld gaming that didn't go so great. A lot of companies felt this pinch. Also, Mego's evergreen properties like the world's greatest superheroes had gone soft due to Mego dumping a massive amount of inventory in the late 70s for a buyout of Tonka that did not come to fruition. It kind of salted the earth in terms of sales of the superheroes for a couple years. Many of Mego's really talented people left at this point, fearing the company was circling the drain, which sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because that unease about the company's future starts to get buyers to be reluctant to purchase things. I spoke to a former VP of Mego around this time, and that was one of his comments was, yeah, nobody was buying from us anymore. Mego was hoping for a major comeback in 1982 with some new homegrown items like Eagle Force, which was a paramilitary toy line full of real American heroes with a comic book story, and Domino Rally, a game series promoted by That's Incredible's Kathy Lee Crosby. She was at Toy Fair along with Darren McGavern, dressed as the commander of Eagle Force. And Kathy Lee Crosby was actually featured on the Domino Rally packaging. They were really gunning hard for some showbiz magic here. Well, the company was troubled and many people had left. There were some bright spots for Mego at this time. Mego had the license to some of TV's most popular shows, like The Dukes of Hazzard and Chips, which were sales winners. They were absolutely sales winners. They also held the license to a up-and-coming popular show called The Greatest American Hero and the evergreen ratings winner, The Love Boat. While folks may scoff at the concept now, The Love Boat drew in millions of viewers every week and was a pop culture sensation that would run for 9 seasons and produce 250 episodes. Love Boat merchandise was not rare during this period, but it mainly included more kind of safe, straightforward things like board games, poster art, and puzzles. However, Mego decided to ambitiously launch, pun intended, a series of Love Boat toys in 1982, an action figure line that would capture the 6 main protagonists of the series. Mego was trying to cash in on the recognizability of the series, and that's not unusual. Love Boat, during the 1982 season, was the 9th most watched show in America. Those are incredible numbers. However, the execution of this line does seem a bit curious. Instead of doing a series of fashion dolls that would be pitched at girls, of Julie and Vicky, they chose the 3 3/4 inch format, which really does feel in the 1980s as a boy's format. However, and this is all conjecture right now, I'd like to offer my personal theory as to what Mego was aiming for when they did this line. In the early 1980s, rival toy company Kenner was not only leading the boys action figure category with their licensed Star Wars product, perhaps you've heard of it, but they were also making incredible headway into the girls aisle with a similarly scaled toy called Glamour Gals. These were 3 3/4 inch scaled versions of Barbie and Ken, for lack of a better term, And they were making a real impact in the marketplace. And it's absolutely something Mego had to notice. There were many playsets marketed in this line, vehicles, which included a boat. It's obvious that the decision to make the Love Boat line in this scale had to be influenced by the popularity of glamour gals. At least that's my best theory. 6 characters were produced for the Love Boat. You had Captain Merrill Stubing, Head Purser Gopher, Ship's Doctor Adam Doc Bricker, Cruise Director Julie, the Captain's daughter Vicky, and of course, this channel's mascot, Isaac, your bartender. Now, Mego didn't just stop at a selection of action figures. No, they created a playset for the Love Boat line. Although it is fair to say it's more of a dollhouse in the shape of a boat. The construction of this set was very similar to the styrene playsets for things like Star Trek the Motion Picture, the Bat Cave, and the Buck Rogers Starport. These were done in earlier years. Unfortunately, it's doubtful that many of these survived. I've owned a loose one of these, and they're really fragile. Mego actually tapped another toy company for the Love Boat furniture. The name escapes me, but if you find one of these and you notice the furnishings aren't marked Mego, that's exactly right. The playset doesn't seem to have been released in the United States in any significant quantity. Every boxed example I have seen comes from Canada, where Grand Toys would have paid up front for this playset with a letter of credit. That's why it got made. I saw these at Zeller's when I was a kid. That's the only place I ever saw this playset. While it's possible a small amount of these sets were sold in the U.S., most people get it confused with a similar toy by a company called Multiple Toy that featured smaller Army Men-style Love Boat crew and guests. The sets do look remarkably alike, and it's an honest mistake. The Love Boat line was not a big hit for Mego, who was going through tough times, and those rumors didn't help toy buyer confidence. Even worse is the Love Boat figures sometimes ended up in the boys' aisle, where they were just pretty much ignored. Not many boys at that time would choose Gopher over Snake Eyes or Darth Vader. Mego sadly closed their doors in 1983, meaning even if the Love Boat line was a smash, we would have never gotten that second wave featuring Charo and Paul Williams. The line is still relatively cheap to find on the secondary market, the main exception being the boat and, well, high demand for Isaac. You see, every creature cantina needs a friendly bartender. I was 11 when this line came out, and even though I watched the Love Boat religiously, I didn't get it at the time. It was in the boys' aisle of my local Woolco, and I looked at every character, thought it was strange, and I moved on. As an adult, it's a little different. I get the joke. The line almost seems to be like a pioneer of ironic action figures like the Super 7 Golden Girls line. They're actually really nicely sculpted, and the card art is sublime. So I buy the Canadian card backs when I see them. I actually did have the entire set at one time, but I sold them because I wanted to buy something really big. And I can't remember what I bought, but I remember thinking, I'll put another set together. That'll be fun. And that's someday is now. I've started up again, and I'm really enjoying it. It's fun. The hunt is sometimes better than having. I hope you've enjoyed my look at the Mego Love Boat line. If you like what I do, I have a new book out there and a new issue of my magazine available in the store. It is in the link below. I would love to know your thoughts on Mego Love Boat, even though I don't expect I'm going to find too many childhood fans out there. You can let me know in the comments below, or you can hit me up in my Facebook group, Megomania, or at my Twitter account, @MegoMuseum. No wrong way to do it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this toy line. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're new to this, I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. This is what I do every week. But until next time, be well and talk toys, not other people. Cheers.